In the late 1960s, when Rim Chun-chu was engaged in writing, the matter of succession to the revolutionary cause, especially the successor, became the focal point of argument and the demand of the times in the arena of the international communist movement. Choosing the right man as successor is a fundamental question that decides the future of the revolution and construction, the country and people. We can take many examples of revolutions and countries going to ruin because of having chosen wrong successors. The basic factor that enabled the Soviet people to build their country into a world power in a short span of time after the October Revolution was that Lenin had chosen a good successor. Stalin, faithful comrade and disciple of Lenin, was loyal to the cause of his leader throughout his life. After Lenin's death, Stalin made a 6-point pledge in front of his coffin. In the course of leading the revolution and construction subsequently, he carried out all his pledges. When the German invaders were at the gates of Moscow, he had the other Politburo members and cadres evacuated, but he himself remained in the Kremlin, commanding the fronts. When Stalin was alive, everything went well in the Soviet Union. But things began to go astray after Khrushchev came to power. Modern revisionism appeared in the Soviet Party, and the Soviet people began to suffer from ideological maladies. He forgot the care with which his leader had brought him up. He vilified Stalin on the excuse of personality cult, expelled from the political bureau of the party all the veteran revolutionaries loyal to Stalin, and deprived them of their party membership. Once, while visiting the Lenin Mausoleum, Rim Chun-chu encountered Molotov on Red Square in Moscow after he had been removed from office. Molotov advised him to carry forward the ideology and achievements of his leader faithfully without falling prey to revisionism, taking the precedent of the Soviet Party into consideration. At that time, Rim Chun-chu keenly realized that if the issue of successor was not settled properly, both the revolution and the party would perish, he said later. As the bitter lessons of history teach us, the essential quality of the successor is his loyalty and moral duty to the leader and his cause. Loyalty to the leader cannot exist separated from moral obligation. Loyalty and moral duty to the leader are the first and foremost qualities his successor must possess. Moreover, the successor needs high qualifications and ability to lead the revolutionary cause pioneered by the leader in accordance with his ideas and intentions. Our people marveled at the unusual ability and revolutionary principle Kim Jong-il displayed in establishing the leader's ideological and leadership system, and at his indomitable will and vigor, as well as the noble loyalty and filial devotion he showed in defending and putting into effect the leader's lines and plans. They have deeply realized that Kim Jong-il is the very successor capable of carrying forward the revolutionary cause of Juche and consummating it true to their leader's ideas and intentions. Our people have long respected and supported him. In supporting him, the veterans of the anti-Japanese revolution are in the van now as they were before. They have acclaimed him as the only successor to me because they are firmly convinced that only when he leads the party, state, and the armed forces can a bright future be ensured for the nation, and the revolutionary cause of Juche pioneered on Mount Paektu be carried forward and consummated without the slightest deviation. That they have acclaimed him as my successor means that the armed forces have held him up as the leader of the nation. Lim Chun-chu, along with Kim Il, Chae-hyun, and Oh Jin-woo, have taken the lead in acclaiming Kim Jong-il as the head of our party and state. The anti-Japanese revolutionary veterans have unanimously acclaimed him as my successor because, before all else, they were attracted by his human appeal. Kim Il has always said there will be no one in the world who is as loyal and dutiful as Kim Jong-il is. Lim Chun-chu has said that there will be no one who respects the revolutionary forerunners as heartily and defends the revolutionary traditions as ardently as Kim Jong-il does, and that no great man of ideology and leadership will be his equal. Oh Jin-woo has said that Kim Jong-il is the general of generals who displays unexcelled audacity and outstanding intelligence. Chae-hyun and Ri Jong-san have often said that Kim Jong-il is a man of the richest human sympathy. Ri Ul-seol also is a long-time assistant to Kim Jong-suk, Kim Jong-il, and me. I still remember him clearly when he was my aide-de-camp after liberation. He would make a security check early in the morning and take breakfast with Kim Jong-il in the kitchen of my house. He was on quite intimate terms with Kim Jong-il in his boyhood. When I was going on a field guidance trip, he would take Kim Jong-il with him. He always understood his needs and looked after him. I still remember when I met Kim Jong-il in Sinuiju during the war. He came to see me after a long period of evacuation. At that time, he asked Ri Ul-seol, my chief aide-de-camp, to take good care of me in place of his mother. His words are still ringing in my ears. Why does Kim Jong-il still trust him, and why is he so grateful to him? It is because Ri Ul-seol took care of him after his mother died. Kim Jong-il was bereft of his mother when he most needed parental care. To make matters worse, he and his sister had to take leave of me for some time because of the war. As I went here and there to reconstruct the economy after the war, I failed to take good care of them. It was Ri Ul-seol and other comrades-in-arms of mine who looked after them as their parents would do in the place of their kinsfolk when they were spending their childhood lonely, missing their mother who had passed away. In the summer of 1953, I visited the Soviet Union with a party and government delegation. Before we left Moscow, after completing our itinerary, the Soviet side gave a farewell banquet in our honor. The watermelons served at the banquet tasted especially good. After the party, I went back to my lodgings. Ri Ul-seol, who was packing a carton, was very embarrassed to see me. I asked him what it was. He hastily replied that he had packed a watermelon for my children. The watermelon in the cardboard box was as large as a pot. Kim Jong-il was very delighted to get the watermelon, saying how good it would be if our people who had suffered hardship in the war had a taste of this watermelon. He suggested growing watermelons from its seeds. From the next year, together with Ri Ul-seol, he began to grow watermelons from the seeds of that watermelon in my garden. The watermelons thrived and spread far and wide. Ri Ul-seol took leave of his parents at a young age and lived all his life by my side. While fighting the imperialists, big power chauvinists, reactionaries and factionalists as my bodyguard for decades, he experienced the difficulties of every description, tasting the sweets and bitters of life. In the course of this, he became a man of great fortitude.